What is going on, guys? Today we are going to be looking at the camera settings and also the gameplay settings in FC24. So if we go over to the main menu, this is where it will change everything for every game mode that you want. Obviously, you can choose difference as you go into each game mode, but settings is where you want to go to first. Then we go into settings, and then you can either go into customize controls and also game settings. If we go into customize controls to start with, everything is pretty much standard. You obviously have your classic, your alternate, 2-button, 1-button, and back to classic. Personally, classic is more than enough for me. I don't think really there's anything I'd like to change there. You can obviously change buttons as well if you really wanted to, but for me, I'm happy to keep that there. We then have game settings, language settings, skill moves, basic controls, and video calibration. I'm not fussed. Game settings is where I want to start with, so we're going to go through each kind of section of this to really find out what I would personally do. I've kind of went in and changed a few things, but you can kind of go through with me and see what you would personally put. So we have the preset of competitive or custom, depending on what you want. With the preset, the competitive present is always enabled in online competitive matches. The following settings are affected by competitive present is auto shots, assisted headers, auto flare pass, through pass assist, lob through pass, auto clearance, jockey defending, and contextual agile dribbling. Okay, so start off with, I would always go competitive if you are online. That is just number one, because you don't want to get comfortable with anything that is not going to be based online. If then you go and play a lot of online, a lot of single player, you want to make sure you are kind of getting the fluid gameplay from both. It isn't going to be, it's like if you have custom on, it's not going to be that you cannot reach top 100 if you really wanted to. If you're top 100, you're top 100. But in terms of competitive, I would always go with that anyway. It knows what I don't need to change, and I can just happily move past it. We then have shot assistance. I personally go with a lot assisted on this. Again, with time finishing, I really should learn it. I really should. And maybe I do find it. But personally, at the minute, I am not bothered with time finishing. I'm okay at a certain level. I don't need to be in top 100 elite division. It isn't my kind of stress to do that. I'm more than happy to play the game and just get the cards. Play the game, get the cards, don't stress too much. It's kind of better than really going all out, in my opinion. If you want time finishing, it is a good benefit to have if you can learn it. Obviously, with it, you've got to be double tapping B. I could go with a proper demonstration of that on the second channel if you want to check that out in the description. We also then have through ball, through pass assistance and also lob through pass. I have them both on semi. Obviously with this, through pass direction will be less assisted. It will rely more on your aim and also the power, pass power. That personally for me is absolutely fine. You can obviously go with manual and semi. I personally go with semi. We've got ground pass assisted. Again, it's going assisted, semi, or manual. I go with the preset with these, to be honest, because I don't really like changing them too much, as normally that is kind of what I stay with the game, and you kind of learn it. If you wanted to go with the semi and have less assisted, and maybe you want to do it on your directional play, again, that is all absolutely fine, but make sure that you are kind of learning it and what you've got more assisted rather than necessarily just semi. We then have pass receiver lock, which again, the pass receiver is locked as late as possible around the same approximate time as when the ball is kicked. You've got animation start, power up late. I'm going to keep that at late. We've got precision pass sensitivity. You've obviously got high normal. So what this is, it's a new thing in the game. Again, on the second channel, I will cover the precision pass and how to do it. But basically, if you hold, I believe it's RB or LB and RB and also Y, it will come up with like almost an arrow to know where you're actually passing to. Really cool feature if you're looking for a through ball, a lob through ball. It will add a very good dynamic into the game. You mix that with some actual control in the other player, that will be personally very, very good in the high divisions. Then we go into the defending. We've got clearance assistance. I'm going to go with classic with that one. You've got directional or classic. Clearance, direction, and power are both fully assisted. Neither takes into consideration the player's directional output. And then obviously clearance direction considers your direction output. Power remains fully assisted, and earliest possible contact point will be selected. I'm personally clicking with classic there. I saw that on the previous game and it just wasn't for me. We then also have defending. So we've got tactical, we've got advanced, and oh, okay, yeah, I was thinking that. I was like, I know there's another one. There's Legacy, unavailable in competitive preset. So with the tactical and advanced, Tactical allows you to time your tackles and maintain your position. It will contextually choose, depending on a player's position, between a stand and more physical tackle with the B button when it is pressed. Advanced defending, which is the one I'm personally running, gives you the freedom to choose your tackle type. B, to attempt a standing tackle, which is just a foot in basically. A is obviously a shoulder challenge, or seal it out, which is basically like a jockey almost. And then X obviously is your normal slide tackle. I personally big on the advanced there, not a problem with the tactical if you wanted to, but I personally like the advanced option on that one. We then have pass block assist. We know that the AI is really good with that, so that's going to stay on 100% of the time. We then also have the switching. So auto switching on air balls and loose balls, manual only on air balls, and automatic and only on loose balls. I'm going with both for that one. Auto switching move assistance is high. Right stick switching is adaptive. I was going to say adaptative then. No. So you've got classic, you've obviously got player rotation and adaptive. Holding the right for longer will switch to a more distant player. So obviously if you are basically going with this, basically if you hold it longer, it will go to a further player. It's as simple as that, really. I personally like that one. I normally flick it quite a lot, to be honest, which flick switches the next player, stand in the direction that you're pointing towards. To be fair, I don't think I've changed this, so that might not be a bad option to go with Classic, because I do flick it rather than hold, so I'm going to go with Classic on that one, actually, because I'm more of a flicker. But player relative for the right stitch switching, you've got ball relative and also player. I'm personally going with player there as I know who I want to go for. Right stick switching sensitivity, so if you want to go higher, adjusted sensitivity for the right switching, classic adaptive or rotation. The higher the sensitivity, the more the game will respect your input when selecting the next player. The lower the sensitivity, the more likely the game is not. Oh, okay. I'm gonna stick down on a 5 then. So that basically means the lower you have, the more times the game is just going to say, nope, I'm not changing. Okay, I'm not having that. Next player switching, classic, close to the ball, goal side. So that is just your standard LB of your switching. Closest to the ball, goal side. I'm going to go classic with that. I feel like I could probably get into a muddle with closest to the ball, as sometimes I want the one behind him. So I suppose you could go close to goal side, so I suppose you could go with that, but classic's going to be fine. Player lock's fine. Icon switching, what's that? While defending, press the right trigger in, icon switch and then flick. Oh, okay, yeah, no, I don't like that one. So basically, if you basically put that on and you click your right analog stick in, it will basically bring up all of the player's options and you flick to the one. Not a big fan of that one. We then have dribbling. Orbit dribbling allows the player to move and pivot around the ball without touching it. To do this, hold LB, LT and move. Oh, didn't know that one. That's pretty cool, actually. That's interesting. It means absolutely nothing, because if I don't bother with it, it doesn't matter if it's on or off. Save assistance, which is going to be assisted. Analog sprinting. What is this one? Analog sprint allows you to control how fast you sprint. The further you hold RT, the faster your player you'll run. To be honest, that's not a bad one, because obviously, so I suppose, no, I'm going to keep that off, because I've been doing all right with the sprinting. Let me know if you're going to put that one on, actually, because that one for me is normally the one to have off. Again, it depends. We then got match. These are pretty standard. I don't think anything is really relevant too much there. We obviously have the camera, which is going to be a big one. And the one thing I wanted to see, yeah, that is the one. I have been rocking telebroadcast for some reason, and I knew that it felt weird. So what you want to be doing on this one, this is my personal preference to see a big part of the pitch, to be honest. So I always go co-op on this one. Obviously, it does depend. Well, I've got locked to player camera. I'm just going to put co-op on them, and then I'll change them as I need them. Be a keeper, it doesn't matter. With the custom camera settings, I go with the max height, the max zoom out, so obviously you go with 0. You do have far side focus, so if you want it to be a little bit further up, maybe your telly is absolutely ginormous, you can move it up a little bit, which is down to what you want. We also know how ball tracking speed, adjust the delay of the game camera when following the ball, does not apply to obviously the dynamic end-to-end cameras. Penalty area zoom, pro camera zoom, which is fine, and then power shot zoom off. I don't like that one. That one can go off 100%. Not too fussed about the penalty, to be honest. It is what it is. Everything else is a standard, but these two are the standard that we had from last year. Again, with the new ones, the pro cameras are not really a problem. when you've not got the penalty zoom on, that is fine. So I suppose you won't have that anyway. With the visual, so this is above your player. So I don't know why. Ah, there we go. With this one, you can change. So I've got player name and indicator. You can obviously just go with the player name if you really wanted to, or I normally go with both. Player name is on there. You can obviously change the large, small, and also default. I go with large just to be able to see it. Player indicator fade, play style plus overhead indicators. Again, it depends on what you're learning. At the moment, I just want to know who's got one. So at the minute, Liao's the one that I've got with a playstyle plus. So it's just to get used to how you're using it. You've got next player switch indicator, which just has it on there. Pretty standard. What we got? Player base difficulty indicator. Not too fussed on that one. Hold to skip. Yeah, toggle hold to skip function off. When turned off, the hold to skip button is no longer and skips cinematic storyline moments. That's fine. So I could turn that off. And does that just mean it goes back to A, in fact? Toggles hold to skip functionality on and off. When turned off, holding the skip button is no longer required to skip cinematic scenes or certain in-match storylines and moments. Perfect. I just want to press A. Not a problem. Time, score, and display, definitely on. Score, clock, drop down. You have got visuals. Now, I do like the visuals, and I think last year the problem was the fact that you had them popping up everywhere, and maybe if you're in the right-wing position, underneath the kind of the minutes and goals, it might block your view. I kind of like them on. It adds a little bit to the game, but I could see in the absolute elite gameplay, it might be a problem. We can have, obviously, 2D radar, 3D radar, or off. I'm going to go with 2D radar on that. Also, we can actually change the color of it, I think. I can't see any color change, to be honest. Maybe we change it in-game, but you can use the radar color. I'm going to go with default as I like it at the bottom there. Opponent radar's color. Oh, that'll be somebody. Yeah, okay, yeah, got you. Oh, I see what it is. So it's always your players, I'm assuming. Yeah, I'm assuming so. It basically means that you can focus on it. So say if we went with red, and then we know that obviously would go with, say, white. Because if you have the kits and they clash, or the shapes, it might not be able to be kind of seen straight away. Whereas I know if I'm red, I can straight away look. That actually works quite nice. Net tension, we can obviously change it. Again, we're going into really, really kind of detailed stuff that I'm really not too fussed about. Input overlay, not a problem. Hypermotion insight overlays as well. I mean, again, I like some of the stats. We've got rules, not a problem. Audio is the standard. We've got the sliders and accessibility. Color blindness, that's really cool, actually. Oh, nice. So they have got that options. Let me know if you utilize that. We've obviously had the brightness, all of the indicators, all of that good stuff, and then we can remap them as well. And that is going to be all my settings. So let me know down below if it helped. If you have any questions, leave it down in the comment section below, and I'll catch you all for the next one. Peace.